final guest
Oh.
is the only person below Wyatt Holiday in the Comicsgate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube guys. How you doing, Connie? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Welcome to Wise Guys Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We're going to be checking into some hard drives. I've got a number. This is a small portion of my total collection. But these are hard drives that have been sitting around for a bit. I noticed that some of them are working just fine, even though they've been sitting around a long time. But I came across already like two drives that don't seem to be working properly. Interestingly, these are both SATA drives, serial ATA, which is the newer version of physical connection. Wait a minute. Let me see something here. Oh, yeah. Part of it might be the very fact that I was mistaking the SATA interface, which is this connector here. This part right here is power, and this part is data. And it's got a very low profile compared with oh wait, that's SATA 2. Whoops. Do I have an EIDE? Let me check this here. Oh, that has Snow Leopard on it. But I gotta test it anyway. Just a minute. Come on. Well, you know what? Before we go any further, number one, let me set a timer. Because it does appear as though, geez, what's with these haptic sounds? I think it's that feature's broken or something. Something is definitely up with this phone. I'm still looking for my original phone. It's temporarily lost. I hope I find it by end of day Monday, but we'll see. Hopefully it didn't get stolen by someone. Okay. Well, this is another SATA. I don't have an EIDE drive I can easily. Well, you know what? Maybe I should just make the effort. Hold on. What was the problem with this one? Oh, here we go. Okay. So it's got a higher profile. Let me see. It's got a thicker double layer connector instead of being fingers on a flat circuit board. It's actually pins. And then typically EIDE drives or IDE drives. EIDE is enhanced IDE. Here's data, here's power, and these are jumpers, so you can set it for master, which is bootable drive, slave, which is a data drive, or an external drive. But you typically have one master and multiple slaves. And then it's got this particular design of drive from Hitachi has a very handy dandy guide. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got a guide telling you all the different configurations. You can also set it for RAID. Auto spin disable. Forcing dev 1 present. Forcing dev 1 present. The only settings I've ever used are master and slave in all the time I've messed with hard drives and computer upgrades, hardware upgrades. I guess I'll just have to, I guess I'll just have to look at this again because I don't know what the heck is wrong with this one or if it works because I don't have any notes on it for some reason. So, oh, you know what? The other thing I usually do is light a candle for the helms of it and to use up my candles that I'm not using otherwise. So let's go do that. This one's almost empty, and then I think I have maybe 2 other candles to use up. Whoa, shoot. I was trying to prop up my phone. Let's do it this way. This might work. All right, that should work. All right. That's how much is left. There we go. All right. So, well, you know what? I got a power supply over here. Let me move the power supply here. Move my water bottles here. There we go. Hi, old dear. How's it going? Hail. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, hello, hello. All right, all right, all right. So anyway, I'm just messing around with technology right now. So again, this is called EIDE, Enhanced IDE, which is a double level connector with pins. And then it's got a connector that goes in with obviously holes. So this is the male lead, and the other would be female for possibly obvious reasons. So what I noticed, I'll take a look at this drive in a little bit because I forget what the heck is wrong with this drive, if there's anything wrong, or if it's got something on it that I can still access, then I will put a label on it. Okay, so like how I did for this drive, for some silly reason, this is SATA, serial ATA, which has a flat circuit board connector with what they call fingers, meaning the copper connections. And then you've got a power connector here. And actually, wait a minute. I think technically this is power. No, this is data. This is power, I think. And I honestly don't know what this other connector is. When it comes to SATA, I usually just plug it in and forget it. Now, this one has my Mac Pro backup. It also has all my Parallels desktop virtual machines. So I've got on virtual desktop, I've got Windows 7. I think it's Pro. Actually, right now, for some reason, I'm having trouble finding my Windows 7 license. So it's an unactivated version of Windows 7. I've got Windows 10 Pro. We've got Ubuntu Linux, which I think is version 13.4. I've got Android OS, an older one, and trying to remember. I think I finally got. I think I finally managed to get a version of Windows 10, a newer, a recent version. Well, not a recent, but I guess still old. Because you can't install OSs that are newer than the OS of the machine that you're on right now. So that was SATA. Yeah. So wait, hold on. No. Actually, it looks like I might have it reversed, according to this interface cable I'm looking at. It looks like this might be power, this might be data, and then I don't know what this little connector here is for. Dear says, I usually use Linux to test hard drives. The Gparted app works great for recognizing drives and formatting them. Yeah, one mistake I made is I forgot that SATA doesn't mean necessarily that it's oh man, what was I meaning to say? Oh, it doesn't necessarily mean it's SSD, solid state digital, where the internal hard drive storage is contained on computer chips. These, for example, like this is a 3 terabyte or 3,000 gigabyte Seagate Barracuda. So this is probably from maybe 2010, 2012. And it says here 7,200 RPM, which is rotations per minute. So it's got a platter. So if you imagine a disc, for those who don't know, kind of thick metal disc resides inside there. And then there's a little reader that jumps around on the above the surface of the platter. Kind of similar to how a record player plays, I guess. But anyway, it means that there's a physical disc, and over time, the lubrication might have worn down, so it's kind of scratchy. I have this external interface device from Otherworld Computing. One end goes into the data, which plugs into my USB. And then the other end goes into power. This is what was pretty common back in the day, especially for EIDE drives, enhanced IDE. The 4 lines represent the power. I think red is hot, yellow is neutral, and the 2 blacks are ground, if I remember. And then it connects to another cable, which leads to one of those power bricks, which leads to the AC outlet. So you've got power coming out of the thicker, wider connector, and you've got data coming out of the narrow connector. Now, the thing to remember is, again, if it says on the label RPM with the number in front of it, it's either going to be something like 7,200. I think there was at one point like as high as 10,000. But then there were 1 or 2 speeds lower, like 5,400 RPM. And that leaves your drive subject to potentially seizing up as time goes on. Especially if you don't use it often enough and it just sits around. So what's happening with this drive is it plugs in and it makes this goofy intermittent sound. All right, so let me turn off this power source. It's actually got, what's interesting about this power cord, is it's got an inline on-off switch, which is kind of convenient. So you don't, if your outlet is a little distance away, as mine is, it gives you a convenient way to shut off power. So I'm going to disconnect the interface connector, so I just have the drive itself. And then I'm going to, per the troubleshooting instructions that came with Otherworld Computing. You can find them on the internet at macsales.com. They're a good company, especially if you're looking for Mac support. I've got to research the various Mac hardware suppliers again because I've been out of it for a little while. And I'm going to disconnect, reconnect several times, and I can turn it on. It's doing the speed up. So it goes on like this for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and then suddenly it stops. So I'm not exactly certain what the cause of that is, but it seems like it's trying. And what I'm going to do is this thing that supposedly works sometimes, which I think I've only gotten to use and try once, and it did in fact work. All right, so this is one that is suspect that I'm probably going to have to use that trick on. All right, so here's the other one. This is another Seagate Barracuda, coincidentally. It's a 3 terabyte drive, which is 7,200 RPMs as well. Haldir says, yeah, SATA is just the connection type. SATA can get around 300 megabit per second read-write. There are SATA-based SSDs in multiple form factors. I have a couple M.2 SATA SSDs. Great as simple storage drives. Yeah. The whole reason to have external drives is for storage, additional storage, and if you want to use them as backup bootable drives. However, if you want backup bootable drives, usually all you need literally is a thumb drive. And I've misplaced all my thumb drives. I should start rebuilding my collection of thumb drives that are bootable. So in the event of an emergency, like when my iMac was down for 3 days, then I'll have them handy and in different iterations of Mac OS X. So what's funny about this, well, maybe not so funny, is about on this Seagate Barracuda 7,200 RPM, which also relies on a platter inside. I plug it in, I don't hear any sound whatsoever. Instead, I start to smell smoke. Literally, I'm smelling smoke, like the smell of a circuit board melting on me. So I tried it again. It seemed to be doing the same. So now I'm going to take a canned air and hit it where the connectors are, and also any place that might have collected dust. As you can see, we've got a circuit board exposed, and then underneath here there are gaps where dust might have collected. The connector itself is usually pretty clean, but I hit it anyway with canned air. And I'm going to hit it underneath the drive, underneath the circuit board, in the hopes that there might have been something there, some dust buildup that I can dislodge. Hopefully. Honestly, I think this might be the first time I've ever encountered a smoking drive. It's smoking. All right, so I've cleaned it some. All right, let me see. Holiday says there should be a smart test function in the disk utility software that should give you an idea of what's going wrong. So on my first drive, my disk utility doesn't even see it. It can't mount it to the hard drive. Mounting is like on Mac OS is the equivalent of seeing the drive, right? So it doesn't appear on the desktop as an icon. In Windows, imagine in your Windows Explorer window, in the left-hand navigation, the external hard drive doesn't appear along with like floppy disks and CD-ROMs, basically external drives. It wouldn't mount at all, and it wouldn't appear at all in Disk Utility on Mac OS. Let me reload. Oh, I have Disk Utility open. All right. So I forgot to turn off power. Ouch. All right. I forgot to turn off the inline power switch for the Otherworld computing interface, but I turned it off now, and then I'm going to plug this into the drive that I just recently hit with canned air. So we get that in there. Now I'm going to turn on the external source power supply. All right, bizarre. So there's an indicator light on the inline power switch for the interface. And normally it's supposed to go solid green to show that you're getting consistent power. But instead, it's giving very brief flashing green, like a pulse on, 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 on. All right, so I turned that off. So what I'm going to do is, no guarantees this is going to help. So I have the inline. Oh, crap, I did it again. No, I didn't. I turned it off correctly. All right. I almost had an oops, I did it again situation. All right, so I'm going to disconnect and reconnect. All right, anyway. Just kidding. That was a poor interpretation of, or a poor imitation of Pac-Man dying. I don't know why I felt that was applicable to inhaling the smell of melting electronics. So basically, I'm disconnecting and reconnecting the interface connector. And that's in part, I think, the idea and reason behind why they suggested it in the instructions is because it kind of, you're going metal against metal. So you're kind of scraping off any potential buildup of, like, don't really want to say rust, but maybe clean off dust and grime by rubbing two metals together against each other. All right, so I'm going to reconnect it, and then I'm going to turn it back on. Same symptoms. I wonder if I burned out a chip. Doesn't seem to be actively smoking. Basically, it was like the smell of rubber or plastic burning. Imagine this. If you ever took a magnifying glass on a sunny day to a G.I. Joe action figure and or a transformer and melted it with the magnifying glass. So, well, actually, usually G.I. Joe. To add battle damage, It's got that kind of smell. Let me see here. It could be the motor on the one that smells burnt. The motor. As long as the heads didn't crash on the internal discs, you can get the data recovered by a data recovery company. Yeah, true. I'm curious. Well, yeah. I'm an authorized reseller for DriveSavers, a data recovery company. And as much as I love their product, I don't think it's in my budget to be able to do it, even with my $200 off discount that I get every year. Oh, if anyone is interested in doing a data recovery, hook me. Well, let me know. LMK, let me know. Yeah, and I can give you my referral code, and you're even welcome to take my coupon, my annual coupon. You can get a free quote on drivesavers.com. They also do MMC, multimedia cards. And I think they also added support for smartphones. I have to look at the offerings again. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm going to try this once more here. The thing is, with my disk utility tools, if I can't mount the drive, well, not necessarily if I can't mount, whether I can or cannot mount the volume successfully. If I can't see it in disk utility, I can't do anything with it. Although I think I have come across, yeah, I have before. I have come across some drive recovery tools on the internet, and I once was able to recover some data off of a drive. It was for a Windows-based PC, though, at the time. But I was able to recover some data files off of it. All right, I did the disconnect reconnect several times again. Same symptom. Oh, shit. I think I smell it again. Wait, huh? Ooh, I think I smell it again. Holy. Yep. And I got my head closer, and now I can hear it. A very faint tap. So something is obviously wrong with it. Yeah, data recovery is pretty expensive. I had a couple drives fail. Luckily, I always had backups. Yeah. I mean, any extra storage drives I have are mostly either backups or garbage I don't mind losing. Like on a lot of my drives, I partition out 3 or 4 times, and then I install. Like on one of my drives, I had Mac OS 10, Mac OS 10.3, Mac OS 10.8, Mac OS 10.13, all installed on a single drive. And then I even had a partition for Boot Camp, and I had also installed Virtual PC. Back then it was version 9, upon which I had several copies of Windows installed. So I like to do funky, goofy, silly stuff like that. So since neither of those got the drives working, oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me double check disk utility and see if it ever comes up. Man, I do not like that burning, melting smell. Yeah, with DriveSavers data recovery, they literally have an entire what is it termed? Clean room, white room. Basically, it's an entire lab where everybody's in those everyone's in those bunny suits. So there's no contamination, no oils from your skin, no hairs from your head, um, no boogers from your nose, no dirt and dust and oils from your hands. And then, you're all gloved up and everything, and you work on the physical drive if you need to. And sometimes it requires physically disassembling the entire hard drive to get to the data chips that store the data that they need to back up from. Well, let's turn on this drive now that we reconnected it. This is a smelly one. Let me go to disk utility. Ugh, jeez. Oh shit, there's a smell. All right, now on disk utility, if it was going to be seen, if it could mount, you would actually see it listed under Macintosh hard drive. All right, so it's still giving me the pulsing light on the inline power switch, but it's now, instead of consistent, it's only occasional or intermittent. So it would be like followed by silence, which is interesting. Anywho, this is a smelly drive. Let's set aside the smelly drive momentarily and plug once more the other drive, same specs, Seagate Barracuda, which back in the day was in it. Extremely good, reliable drive. Maybe it suffered me letting it sit around doing nothing for too long. 3 terabytes hard drive capacity at 7,200 RPM. It's plugged in. I'm turning on the inline power. It's doing the speed up, which kind of sounds like a jet engine. Okay. Well, here's a question. All right, so it just stopped doing the but my inline power is giving stable, consistent power to it. So, all right. You mentioned G-parted. The Linux app has been able to mount some failing drives for me that the Windows utility couldn't even see. Linux G-parted app. It won't show up on any disk utility app if the controller chip burnt out. Now, do you think that's the purpose of? Do you think that's that burning, melting smell is the controller chip burning out on me, or do you think it still could potentially be something else? Let's do the following: stop sharing, and then let me. All right, let's do this. A known working SATA drive, which is 7,200 RPM, 6 terabytes. Plug that back in. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna leave the drive plugged in. I'm I'm mounting my backup. I'm launching Parallels Desktop. I'm going to try something. I have no clue if I'll be able to successfully test this, but this will be kind of fun. Let's see, I think I have to wait until the volume actually comes up. It might be, or it's the motor if you don't hear the discs spinning or getting to full speed. Yeah, on the smelly one, the most I hear is so. All right, so let's see, Ubuntu Linux 13.04. I still have to get around to installing newer versions of Linux, which it looks like I have access to. While Ubuntu Linux 13.04 is running, do not disconnect the volume. Oh, yeah, of course. I have virtual PC machines installed to an external, drive. Okay, so let's try this. Present. Share screen. Oh, no way. Oh, hold on. Wait, what? Why is it prompting me to install Parallels Desktop for Mac if I thought it wasn't compatible with my OS? Unable to download the installation files. Check your network connection. Try again. What the bloody heck? I'm on Ethernet. What are you talking about, Willis? All right, ignore that. All right, back to Android. No, Ubuntu, Linux. All right, whew. Thank goodness I remember my admin password. All right, so I am kind of a noob when it comes to Linux. I used to play with it a little bit here and there, but search your computer on online resources. Gparted. Sounds almost like departed. All right, so app. So software updater, software and updates. Where does that lead? Does that go to? Let me check my network adapter, shared network. Okay. Downloadable from the internet. Main universe prepared for devices restricted. Source code. Wait, what? Installable from CD-ROM DVD. CD-ROM with Ubuntu Raring Ringtail. What the hell is that? Well, let's install it. Okay, let me authenticate. Okay. So did you install? Or, There's no like install button that I see. Downloadable from the internet, installable from CD DVD. Well, I checkmarked it. You asked me for. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, what? Well, it sees the CD-ROM. What? Huh. All right. Software store. Ubuntu One. Is that a browser? Ubuntu Software Center. Partition editor install. Authenticate. Is that the progress bar? Requires installation of untrusted packages from authenticated sources. Yeah, sure. Gparted library, GTKMM. All right. Entrusted packages. Yeah. That's fine. Wait, what? Why does it have repair? Do I need a repair? Let me see what happens when. What? I'm okay with it. What? Why am I stuck in an endless loop? Repair. Hold up. All right, hold on. Wait, progress. Updating cache, querying software sources. All software. Failed to download repository information. Check it. Are you serious? All right, let me do this. Bridge network. Let's try. All right, hold on. Can I do Wi-Fi? The real network adapter Wi-Fi is used by the virtual adapter 1 is not connected to the network. Make sure the real adapter is connected to a wireless or wired network. Real one. Failed to fetch. Oh wait, it was still trying to install the raring ringtail. Is that what it had problems with? Some index files failed to download. They've been ignored. All right. Installed. What is it? A utility? Accessory, maybe? Hold on, let me. All right, it's not coming up under anything. All right, let's go back here. Go here. Select this. More info. Is free. Uses libparted to detect and manipulate devices and partition tables, while several optional file system tools provide support for file systems not included in libparted. Developer website, optional add-ons. Gpart. Hey, Haldir, do you recommend installing all these? What version of Ubuntu is this? It might be trying to download from old repositories. Could also be issues with the virtualization software. Yeah, it could be issues with all of that, actually. Ubuntu software VPN can. Oh, wait, no, I don't want a VPN. Never mind. I just need basic internet. I don't understand why it's. Let's try host only network. Connected wired network. Let me see what happens when I hit install. Well, now it looks like it's 2 blocks in. It says it's installing. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. All right, let's repair. This is version 13.04 Linux, Ubuntu Linux desktop. Uh-oh. What's going on? Why did the screen go gray? All right, now it's back. Progress. Updating cache. Okay, so querying software sources. All right, this may still potentially fail. So let me go to my other window. Wait, what? Where'd it go? All right, Control Center. Oh wait, I never did get Mac OS 10 successfully installed on Parallels. It seems like it was specifically designed for Windows and everything non-Mac OS, which sucks. Add. All right, so what version of Ubuntu Linux does Parallels Desktop version 13 have? Because if Ubuntu Linux won't do the trick, I've got Fedora, CentOS, Debian New. I've got Mint. Okay. Let me try this version of Ubuntu, which is package size 1.8 gigs. Oh, Ubuntu is based on Debian New Linux distribution? Oh, didn't know that. All right, so this is version 16.04. 16.04. All right, this is still querying and waiting. Stop screen, present, share. Okay, installing another copy of Ubuntu. Yeah, I download all the options. They look like other file system extensions to recognize more file systems than the one Linux includes by default. Right on, like Donkey Kong. I dig it. All right, so I'll turn off the inline power switch for the time being. Hopefully this installs without issue. Let me see what Ubuntu, the other Ubuntu Linux is doing. 13.04. Excuse me. It hasn't changed. It's still chugging away, trying to update cache and query software sources. I think you're right that it's lost connection to the links where the source files were, are probably outdated. Excuse me. All right, I'm going. You know what? I think I'm going to cancel this old version of Ubuntu, close out of it, and assuming I can get this one installed successfully and running, I'll get rid of my old Ubuntu. I don't presently have a need for multiple copies of Ubuntu, but I was thinking of installing multiple copies of Linux, different builds, different distributions is what they are. 16.04. Yeah, I get it. Don't turn off the external drive. So I'm guessing you lost visibility. Yep, you did. Whoa, that must mean it's done installing. All right, now we're looking at 16.04. Okay. You're required to change your password immediately. Enter new Unix password. Let me first shut down 13.04. Let me see. It was here, I think. No, it wasn't. Oh, it was over here. The gear icon, that looks like a power icon. So shut down. Shut down. Shutting down. 13.04. Boom shakalaka. Done. All right. Now we can focus on 16.04. Okay, let's create a password. Retype. LTS. Ubuntu 16.04 LTS. To start Parallel Tools installation agent, you must type the root password and select the command to get root privileges. Oh, crap. I don't know if I have that. Let me try this. Please wait. Huh? Installing Parallel Tools. You'll need to restart new/Linux to finish the Parallels Tools installation. I didn't think Parallels had any tools for Ubuntu Linux. I only knew of Mac and Windows. You're using Parallels? I haven't tried that software. I use VirtualBox for trying different Linux distros virtually. Yeah, I'm using Parallels Desktop version 13. Kind of funny story. I don't know if you saw the previous streams where I was trying to install Boot Camp so that I could run Windows on another volume, another partition of my drive. That didn't work because I think there was a compatibility issue where my hardware wasn't new enough. I didn't have a high enough graphics chipset or high enough CPU. So I whipped out my Parallels Desktop version 9 from like 2010. Some features will be unavailable or updated successfully. Some features will be unavailable until you restart Linux. If you do nothing, Linux will be restarted. All right, restart now. All right, let's reboot. Are you guys seeing the rebooting process too? Where's my mouse? Oh, that's right. All right, it looks like you guys are able to see it. Good. So I had Parallels Desktop version 9. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Where's my phone? It's over here. I want to take a photo of your note about that tool you're using. VirtualBox. That must be Parallels drivers to pass through network and physical ports. VirtualBox does the same thing. VirtualBox. Is there a version of VirtualBox for Mac OS and Windows OS? What was the other thing I was looking for? Oh, the name of the app, Gparted. Okay, there we go. All right, so, oops. What the? Okay. Am I not? Oh, hold on. No, I don't want that one. Okay. Okay, all right, so. VirtualBox is free. It's available on Win, Mac, and Linux. Nice. All right, there we go. All right, hoo-wee. All right, so it's got Firefox on here. Isn't there, I thought Ubuntu had their own web browser. I thought it was called Ubuntu One. All right, so do you see shared network recommended? All right, we'll leave it there momentarily. Let's see, where's the... Oh, all right. So Parallels Desktop shares folders. All right. It's got my external drive, my iCloud, my computer. Okay. How do you close this? Where's the close button on this? What? View list. Icon view. Search. How do I close this freaking window? Huh. How bizarre. How bizarre. Computer. No, I don't want that. Home. I don't want that. Jeez. Recent. Desktop. Back. Oh, I can't go back. What the? Does it recognize Control W to close window? Oh, it does. All right. Whew. All right. That was weird. System settings, software updater. Software has been updated. Software has been issued since Ubuntu 1604 was released. Do you want to install it? 572.4 megs will be downloaded. Yes, please. Important security updates, recommended updates, unsupported updates, Xenial backports. Oh, is it updating? Is it going to have more? Wait, what? Oh. I guess it was like checking to see if I made any adjustments to the settings. Authenticate. 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 Installing updates. So if it's able to get this far, then and it's downloading, that means it's recognizing the network, whereas version 13 was having some troubles. This is version 1604. Oh, anyway, so I pulled out my copy of Parallels Desktop. Virtual PC used to be was made by Connectix, and Microsoft they acquired Connectix just so they could demolish them as a company and prevent competition so that people wouldn't be able to use Connectix to run Windows on their Mac. And I guess they have some sort of agreement with Microsoft, the Parallels company, because Parallel's still around. It was sad to see Connectix die. So I had version 9, right? Which is from like 2010, maybe a little earlier. And it had very limited functionality. I couldn't even get Windows 98 to launch. So I reached out to tech support. I first tried to do boot camp. My hardware is so old it doesn't support that version of the newest version of Parallels Desktop 20. But I had like a 3-part stream where I was trying to get copies of Windows and Linux installed and running. So during that 3-part series, I reached out in chat to Parallel support, and they actually gifted me a copy with a permanent license for Parallels Desktop 13. Once I got 13 installed, it was compatible with my OS, my Mac OS, for which I'm running 10.13.6. Plus, it allowed me to get Windows 98 running. I've got Windows 10 Professional. I've got Ubuntu Linux. Now I've got 16.04. I've got Android, an old version of Android OS. So, yeah, that's where I am today. I was hoping to install Parallels Desktop 20 so I'd be current, but it costs money. And I'm broke, so let's see here. Ubuntu One is just their cloud service. Oh, like what is it, OneDrive? Firefox is their default browser for Ubuntu. Really? Firefox. I used to use Firefox all the time. Actually, I use it now on my Mac OS because it seems like on this old copy of Mac OS, Safari clunks around, so I can't really use them anymore. Chrome works okay usually, but it's such a resource hog. I'm presently using Firefox. It is also a resource hog, but I upgraded from 4 gigs of RAM to 32 gigs of RAM, and it's much more bearable. What do you know? I got spam. Ubuntu 16 should be modern enough. I think the latest Ubuntu LTS is version 22.4, maybe 24.4. Okay. Let me, in another tab while these updates are installing, bump it up, open up Twitch, and then go to my stream there, because I need to deal with this spam bot. That's supposed to be the music from Terminator, by the way. Okay. That bot's terminated. It's not a tumor. Here's the good times. Tonight is kind of special. Dun, dun, dun. Software updater. Oh, I did a backup. Backups 1. Check new releases. GTK. Preparing installation of Python library. The new version of Ubuntu is available. Would you like to upgrade? Yes, upgrade now. So long as it's free. Preparing installation of Linux modules. Extra. Preparing to unpack. This kind of stuff, it tends to be quite fun for me, because I grew up fiddling with computers, and this is like old school stuff where you're like looking at DOS prompts and whatnot, command prompts. At one point, even Mac OS had, in its early days of the Apple computer, it ran off of ProDOS. It's amazing what people come up with. Here's a VirtualBox website. VirtualBox. So, yeah, the virtualization software. All right, so let me Firefox virtual. It is virtualbox.com, is it? Virtual.org. Okay, that makes sense. https://www.virtualbox.org. And then let's bookmark this. Other bookmarks. Come on, give me my window. Other bookmarks, and then bookmarks toolbar. And then subfolder virtualization. Save. It says download VirtualBox binaries and platform packages. It's a general purpose full virtualization software for x86_64 hardware with version 7.1. Additionally, for Mac OS/ARM, targeted at laptop, desktop, server, and embedded use. I need the Mac OS Intel host. Wait, there's an extension pack? Personal use and educational use. governs your access to and use of the extension pack. Personal use and educational license. I'm not sure. Do I need well, these are 7.1.6 platform packages already, so Mac OS / Intel hosts. Source code, software development kit. That's the extension pack. So did it take me to that page? Oh, shoot. It just downloaded to my hard drive. All right, never mind. I just have to launch it. Let's see the progress of the software updates. All right, so they're still updating on Ubuntu. Meanwhile, I'm trying to install VirtualBox version 7.1.6 for Mac OS 10. We're multitasking, baby. And then once Ubuntu is fully updated, then I will install that tool to see if we can get the hard drives recognized. Okay, double click on this icon. Run the VirtualBox application from the application folder. Okay. Oracle VirtualBox for Mac OS. Welcome to Oracle. Oh, it's from Oracle? Nice. This installer will guide you through the install process. In a minute from now, you'll be able to execute virtual machines running different operating systems on your desk. You'll find that VirtualBox delivers a great feature set of excellent performance. Oh dear. Do you know off the top of your head if I can install virtual machines for older copies of Mac OS? In other words, for example, 10.1 and OS 9.2.2. I know a lot of virtualization services try and focus on the newest OSs, but I want to go backwards because I want to be able to play older classic games like Full Throttle, especially. That's one of my main goals, if I can accomplish it, to install Full Throttle. Which is from LucasArts. Continue. This will take 294 point. All right, so since Linux is going to be busy for some time. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Whoa, why didn't it not refresh on your guys' end? Restart now. I thought it was still loading. All right, you guys should see it rebooting now. I think they have older versions still available for classic hardware. It should be listed on their website. Oh, do you mean I'd have to install an older version of VirtualBox? Or can I use this current version of VirtualBox to install older Mac OSs? Let's install. Wait, what does Customize have? Oh, the command line utilities and the base application. All right, install. Authenticate. Oops, wrong. Oh my gosh, you serious? Let me be more careful. Wait, what am I doing wrong? Oh shoot! Oh, just looking for this one. All right, there we go. All right, so for Ubuntu, however, it needs this one. Oh, seriously? That's what I get for trying to multitask. I think they have older versions. The current version should work with older OSs down to WinXP, I think. All right, so VirtualBox is supposedly installed. Do I want to move the Oracle Virtual Installer? No, I want to keep it. Okay, meanwhile, back on Ubuntu. System settings, brightness, appearance. Oh, you know what? Is there like, do they support dark mode? Behavior. Well, I can always check another time. Explore later. Ubuntu software. For macOS 9, you might need a separate app. Okay. It's called. All right. What was the name of that program you said? It's up here in chat. Gparted. Okay, so let's look for Gparted. Again, it reminds me of Departed. The Departed. Installing to, you need to authenticate, of course. Hey man, Nui, how's it going? What's up, what's up, what's up? Image Magic, software suite to craft, edit, and composite bitmap images. iBus, intelligent input bus, new input framework, provides full feature and user-friendly input method user interface. Oh. Oops, launch. Oh, really? Okay. That makes sense though. Because you're giving it access to the hard drives. Ah, unlimited power. All right, so anyway. Oh boy. All right, so this I think is my. Oh, wait a minute. Is it going to be? Well, it should have it. It should be. What's interesting is. Oh yeah, it does have parallel shared folders. All right, never mind. Humana. Let's turn on the inline power for the drive that doesn't stink. Fine. Attempting to beat Dead Space remake on impossible. Holy frick! You're at impossible difficulty level. Jeez. Mad respect. Usually, I play most games at normal difficulty, and then right. So dev SDA dev subfolder. Is this on my home hard drive? My host, or is it view device information? ATA. Oh, is this the virtual machine? 64 gigs. Head sectors, cylinders, total sector size. Ubuntu Linux 16. So this must be the virtual machine container. It's the last achievement to get a platinum. Wow, holy moly. Is Dead Space an MMO RPG, like something you play with other online players through like Steam or whatever? I've heard the name, but I know nothing about it. All right, so this is my virtual machine. So refresh devices. I'm guessing that each drive will have its own rectangular box. So what is this? That versus that. Wait, what? Extended Linux swap unallocated. 63 gigs, 1 terabyte. No, actually, no, that's 1 gig. Sorry. 1,000 megs is 1 gig. Okay. I'm not sure if it will pass through the drive properly on Parallels. I usually boot Linux from a USB drive when I test drives to have more direct control. That makes perfect sense. I need to learn how to install bootable copy of Linux onto a thumb drive. And I need to find my thumb drives again. Can't remember if I left them in California or what. I thought I brought back a few of them at least, but I bet I left them all in California. Here's to good times. Tomorrow's kind of special. La da da, la da tia, la da tia. Shared folders. VirtualBox. Wait, what? That's the installer volume, right? Yeah. Eject. Oh, wait, what? All right, so let me try unmounting from Mac OS. Wait, why do I have... I now have dock shortcuts for Ubuntu software and Ubuntu files. Huh. Let me see something here. VirtualBox, that's the installer program, or the mounted volume. Eject. All right, successful. Now it should, yep, it's gone. So iCloud's my cloud. This is my virtual machine external drive and backup drive. Home. This sounds like my Mac OS. Hold on. Excuse me. Home. Applications. Library. iCloud Drive. What the heck? Interesting. Okay. Humana. Windows Network. Desktop. Oh, this is the Ubuntu Linux desktop. Documents. All right, so if it was going to recognize a drive, it should recognize it here. The inline power is on. There's an app called Unet Bootin that makes bootable drives. Ooh, thank you so much. So let me see. https://unetbootin.github.io, which I guess is input output. Let's go there. Let's bookmark this bad boy. Let me go one level up. Wait a minute, hold on. Well, let's Let's should we put it there? Let's put let's do a new folder. Let's call it make bootable Linux drive, USB drive. Excuse me. All right. All right. Let's UNet bootin can't be opened because it's sent from an unidentified developer. Security preferences. Let me jump over there. Please still be there. Please still be there. Sometimes this notification doesn't stay up very long. What? Come on. Let me give it approval. Come on, come on. Security preferences allow installation of only apps from the App Store and identified developers. Yeah, but I should be able to. Let me try it again. What? You're not going to give me the option to allow it? All right, hold on. Sorry, I'm doing this in another window. Okay, excuse me. Firewall options. Wait a minute. Is this where it is? Security preferences allow installation of only apps from the App Store and identified developers. Where was that option again? Turn off firewall options. Oh, maybe it's under advanced. No? Oh, shoot, there it is. It was on this, it was on the first pane, the general pane. Open anyway. Open. Yes. All right. Admin password. All right. Select distribution. Holy moly. Oh man, I wish BOS was an option on the list. Although I don't know if it was based off of Linux or not. Oh man, that is so cool. Type USB drive. Drive. Huh. Oh, that is so cool. All right, so let me drag that down next to Parallels desktop, I guess. UNet bootin. Frickin' A, man. I might just have to get a bunch. Well, I don't want to have to get new drives if I can reuse my old ones. But thumb drives nowadays aren't all that expensive. So let's lock this up and then dismount UNet bootin. Eject. All right. Close out of preferences. Go back to stream. There's a similar app called Rufus, but it's Windows only. http://rufus.ie/en for English. Okay, let's go visit that and at least bookmark it. That would be funny if I launch Parallels Desktop 13 to launch Windows 10 Professional to install the boot up software from there, or to install VirtualBox on Windows to then emulate something else. All right, so let's bookmark this and then expand and for Windows. Let me say Windows installer. Okay, back to the stream. You might have to go into macOS settings to enable the installation. Yeah, I installed UNetBooten on macOS. Let me confirm it launches. Open. Admin password. Oh wait, shoot, wrong password again. Gotta remember multiple admin passwords. Yeah, it launches. Sweet. And then what was the other thing I needed to do? All right. Note, if a necromorphs is on the ground and you didn't put it there, open fire. You can use a BOS ISO file to make a bootable drive too. UNetBooten lets you use any OS ISO file in addition to the downloadable options. All right. All right. Oh, but hold on. Now, here's another question. If I'm, oh, wait. Well, I might be able to, well, I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if, so if I have a bootable version of BOS, then I'm literally going to boot my whole computer into BOS, correct? In which case, oh, let me go back to Ubuntu for a minute. Okay, I guess because I left it idle for too long, it went into lock screen mode. Oh, I thought I ejected UNetBooten. Oh, whoops. Let's eject. Oh, does UNetBooten always work off of a mounted volume? Anywho, it's not seeing my other drive again. Still. Oh, wait. I was trying to. Okay. Computer. Nope, that's not it. Network. No, that's not it. Control W. Whoops. Uh-oh. Control W. ./dev/SDA. So attempt data rescue. Command gpart was not found. This feature uses gpart. Please install gpart and try. What? Is there like updates? How do I know if there's updates for this application? You know what? Hold on. This is gparted. Unlock from, oh, it's, wait, what? Unlock from launcher. I'm guessing the toolbar here is the launcher. So it's already pinned, if you will. Let me test that theory. All right, good. Because I want it pinned there. All right. Gparted should have a refresh option to scan for drive changes. Excuse me a sec. It seems like so many people's car alarms go off even when no one's around. I'm not sure why that happens. All right, so I'm pretty sure I did the refresh. Amazon. Let me. Software is up to date. So what version of Ubuntu am I on? It ran updates. Oh, maybe I'm still on 16.04. Huh. All right, this for now is still dead. Let's turn it back on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did refresh, but let me do it again. Control W, Gparted, authentication. Whoops. Row. Okay. Refresh devices. Wait, do each of these represent a separate hard drive? Wait, no. This should all be, I think this, wait, hold on. Size, used, unused. Wait, this indicates there's two different volumes. So it's got like, I guess 1 meg of swap file space, but then you got 63 gigs, which is I think the Linux partition. And then you got something that's 1 gigabyte. Wait, what? Yeah, 63 gigs here. And 1 gigabyte extended. Is that storage drive A, storage drive A, 1 and 2? SDA 5, Linux swap. Oh, wait, what? Is it all swap space? I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. But this all appears to be focusing specifically on the Ubuntu Linux partition. There's a drop down to select different drives. It's showing the partitions for the current drive selected. So there's a drop down for, oh, this one here. In my case, it's only showing the one drive. Oh, as I was saying about BOS, if I'm using a thumb drive to boot off of BOS, I'm wondering if I can possibly still live stream using BOS. In order to do that, I'd have to possibly visit. I wonder if StreamYard would still work on that old operating system. Because I was trying to launch. I was looking at the UNet boot and I didn't see the option to do specifically. Oh, I mean, it didn't have BOS listed in the dropdown. However, you said that it'll allow you to install any ISO OS on it, so I can mess with that another time. How am I doing on the time? It turns out, I guess StreamYard has just been moving things all over the place. So it looks like, it appears as though I am able to use the AI tool, so long as I keep my streams under 2 hours, to help me repurpose my content, which is helpful for channel growth. Yeah, I'd love to be able to. Wait, what is it? How much time do I have? 11 minutes at least. So I wanted to be able to boot into BOS, live stream being in BOS, and trying out things in BOS. You know, just exploring, seeing what I'm still able to do. But part of the reason why, I might be able to find it on the internet actually. An installer for BOS and ISO image. I've been thinking I needed to search my external hard drives sitting around to see if I have BOS. But I could. Ooh, instructions on building your own BBox and run BOS using VirtualBox. Ooh, all right, there's the links. Okay, maybe I'll just use that. I'll mess around with BOS on a future technology stream. Let me bookmark these. Bookmark. Let me put new folder, BOS. Zombie. 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 Okay, that one, and then let's bookmark this one too. And then return to the stream. If BOS has a modern web browser, StreamYards would work. Yeah, that's the thing. BOS was around in, I think, 2010 or 2012. And then the French CEO eventually discontinued production of it or development of it after like 2 or 3 years. I don't know if there's people out there actually tinkering with it and trying to develop it further or add distribution plugins or what have you. All right, so Gparted so far is not working for this. Well, I mean, it runs in Ubuntu Linux, but something about the way I have it sharing with my host hard drives. Let me see. Maybe there's a setting in here I'm missing. Share folders, all disks. That might be the issue. Let me close this. Let me make sure I still have it set for all disks. I do. Let's reboot. Oh, what? No such thing as a reboot? There's suspend and log out. Let's shut down. It doesn't take that long. Oh, wait, hold on. Goodbye, Parallels. Are you sure you want to close all programs and shut down the computer? Oh, there is a restart. All right, my bad. I had to do the funky thing that is in Windows 10 and 11, where you have to click the shutdown button to get access to the restart menu, which is restart option, which is kind of bizarre line of thinking. VirtualBox works pretty well. I think the main difference between VirtualBox and Parallels is the ability to use macOS virtually. Parallels had a license to use macOS virtually. Yeah, it seems like even with the latest version of macOS, the latest version of Parallels Desktop only seems to be supporting, say, the last 4 or 5 versions of the OS. I'm on Mac OS 10.13.6, and let me see, where are they nowadays? Apple.com Mac OS. I forget what actual version. They're on Sequoia, but what version is Sequoia? Oh, let me share with you something since we're coming close to the end of the stream. I find this entertaining. Oh, by the way, Haldir, can you install BOS onto VirtualBox or using VirtualBox? All right, hold on. I'll log in for you. And then Ubuntu 16.04. All right, I guess whatever updates it did just updated whatever existing stuff there was. What is this? Mystery box. Oops. Okay. It was a J.J. Abrams mystery box. Who is Ray? I don't know. Security and privacy backups detail. Yeah, it added. Oh, backups is no longer showing. All right. Software and updates. Make sure I'm current. All right. Why are you not accepting my click? Oh. I guess you did. All right. I was just impatient. How do I tell it to check for updates? I guess it's going to automatically install the updates as they become available. I was thinking I'd have to think like a Windows user and hit check for updates. This machine is not covered by an Ubuntu Pro subscription. Receive security updates for over 25,000 Ubuntu packages, free for up to 5 machines. Compliance and hardening. Only recommended to assist with FedRAMP, HIPAA, and other compliance and hardening requirements. Includes FIPS 140-2 certified modules. That's probably security hash. Let's see, DISA-STIG, CIS, and common criteria. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, but I wanted to find out how much Ubuntu Pro is. "30-day trial for enterprises, always free for personal use." Is it? Always free for personal use? Myself. Free personal subscription for 5 machines for you or any business you own, or 50 machines for active Ubuntu community members. If you need phone support or need to cover more than 5 machines, select my organization. Ooh, it must be in Europe because they spell organization with an S instead of a Z. That's pretty generous. 5 licenses? Ubuntu Pro isn't required. I think that's for enterprise features normal users don't need. So you don't think it'll have like more detailed mounted drive recognition, things like that? I mean, I was just thinking since it's free, but I can look at this at another time. I wonder if I could copy this, Control C to copy. I can bookmark it. Save page to Pocket. Huh. Send tab to device. Bookmark. Nice. All right. I guess I'll leave the. Okay. All right. So, what is this? Oh, logging into the Firefox profile. Okay. Control W. Updates. All right. Well, anyway, I assume I'm current. So, where's the file system for Linux? Ah! I don't know. Maybe I should turn down the volume on this. Jeez. Good golly. It startles me to beat all hell. We're at 1:53. So I guess we can go 4 more minutes on this stream. I haven't decided. I might do another stream after this, but it might be a gaming stream. I think you can install BOS on VirtualBox, but I'm not sure if the drivers are as well supported as Linux, Win, macOS. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it because BOS is so old. Ubuntu Pro isn't required. I think that's for enterprise features normal users don't need. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Files is the drive. Hold on, is this on? Is this thing on? Okay, so iCloud, that's my virtual machines. Home. What is this? My games, iCloud Drive Archive, library, Zomboid. That sounds pretty current. Brawlhalla. Wait, is this my macOS? Desktop. Where's users? Public. There's no users folder? Hold on. Desktop. Recycle bin stuff. Desktop.ini. Oh, yeah. This is, yeah. All right. So this is macOS. But I wonder why. Maybe the users folder is restricted or hidden from the Ubuntu Linux virtual machine. But my game should have the Star. Oh wait, it has Blades of Time, which is from Steam. Huh. Where are all my other Steam local files then? Document. It's like it downloads. Yeah. Yeah, this is Mac OS. And then what is this? All files. Users. Oh, shit. This looks like Mac OS too. Applications main course. Yeah, that's probably your Mac OS drive. Cores, dev, etc. Yeah, that also sounds like Mac OS. Library. System installer failure requests. TMP. Yep. Oh. Wait, so this is all files on my macOS volume, and this is the home folder specifically on macOS? Yeah. Brawlhalla. That's a game from Steam as well. Huh, okay. So it saves their replay files in the home folder. Excuse me. Well, that's disappointing. I can't see this drive. Let me turn off this one, and let's re-plug in the stinky one. The stinky Seagate Barracuda 3 terabyte hard drive, external. Turn on the inline power. It's doing that funky intermittent pulse on the indicator light of the inline power, which is concerning. No, there it goes again. Crap. I contemplated doing another technology stream immediately after this, but I think I might do a gaming one instead, or a drawing one. No, probably a gaming one. Yeah, but believe it or not, one of the suggestions for troubleshooting these kinds of platter-based drives. Sorry, I had to clean my keyboard. Let me unplug this. One of the suggestions. Oh, hold on. All right, so those guys are fully charged. Let's unplug them. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but you actually. Oh, wait, hold on. I have to quit this stream now. But you basically rotate it over and try and get centrifugal force to get the platter going again. But I'll do that on my next technology stream. Thanks all for joining me. Thanks all for all your help, all dear. And bye.